And let's quickly go back to our top story on Prime Minister Modi's rally in poll-bound Jammu Kashmir and the bigger message. Guest for NewsNight tonight is Mr. Alok Bansal, Director, India Foundation, joining us on this broadcast. Thank you very much. Good evening, sir, Mr. Bansal. So I'm sure you saw the reports from Katra as well as Srinagar. What do you think about the significance of the subjects that Prime Minister talked about today, especially the statement in Katra when Prime Minister said that no power in the world can bring back Article 370 in Jammu Kashmir, considering that some of the parties tried to make this Article 370 abrogation a rallying point in these elections?
See, firstly, we need to be very clear that there is a euphoria in significant section of population of J&K as far as abrogation of Article 370 is concerned, and a very clear manifestation of this in the high polling percentage that we have in J&K. The second part we need to understand as far as the constitutional process is concerned. If you have to do any amendment in constitution, it requires parliamentary resolutions by 2/3 majority followed by ratification by 3/4 of the states. At this point of time, while significant population in J&K supports abrogation of 370, as far as rest of India is concerned, there is an overwhelming support. I think even 95% people must be supporting this. So it's virtually not possible. It's practically not possible for anyone to even think of that. And that is one of the reasons why, although National Conference is talking of it, its poll ally, Indian National Congress, has not said so, because they realize that a statement on this would be extremely counterproductive to them outside J&K. And that is one of the reasons. I think it's a reality which everybody must understand, but some of the local political parties in J&K are trying to make an issue out of this because they have run out of agendas and run out of issues. And more importantly, because of abrogation of Article 370, we have seen the growth of grassroots level democracy in J&K, which has brought in a new crop of leaders.
Correct.
Actually, outside this entrenched 2 or 3 families that have been controlling J&K for decades. So I think there is a sense of fear as far as these entrenched politicians are concerned. And that's where we are seeing some manifestation of anger or opposition to this particular thing. But an overwhelming majority of citizens of India support it. And a significant number in J&K are also extremely happy with the abrogation of Article 370.
Right. And having said that, Prime Minister also took PDP and National Conference as well as Congress head on, which you also talked about. But if you look at the electoral game this time around, the fight, especially in Kashmir region, do you think BJP this time is actually posing a formidable challenge to the National Conference and the likes of the PDP, considering they have in these elections, fielded candidates at least on these 19 crucial constituencies. Like I went to Pulwama with my team, and there was this a good, robust cadre or a base support for the BJP because of the fruits of the abrogation of Article 370.
See, let there be no doubt that there is a substantive chunk of population, even in Kashmir Valley, which is very happy with the abrogation of Article 370. Whether they'll be able to win the elections or not, that will depend on the poll process, because most of the contests in Kashmir Valley are multi-cornered. And in multi-cornered constitution elections, it is, I think, the electoral arithmetic on that particular day that decides the thing. But I have no doubts that BJP has very strong potential and chance in many seats in Kashmir Valley. In fact, there are many seats where BJP candidates could give a strong fight and could even emerge victorious.
What do you make of the higher voter turnout, like 61% in the very first phase, considering these polls are, the assembly elections are being held there after a decade? Last were held just after the floods that hit in 2014, and the first one after 2019, after a gap of 5 years after 2019.
See, firstly, the population of Jammu and Kashmir has shown that they have complete faith as far as constitution is concerned of India. also in the electoral process of India. I think that's why you are seeing such a high percentage. These people want to choose their own candidates who can govern them. And I think this is the first chance that they are getting after a significant period of time. And they're showing their enthusiasm in coming in big numbers to vote.
What do you make of Prime Minister Modi's Jammu Kashmir outreach, this being his third visit? Though this is purely, campaigning for the campaigning purposes, he opened the Srinagar rally, spoke in Kashmiri briefly, and then he also talked about Dil ki aur Delhi ki duri mitani hai, which basically means bringing Kashmiris closer to the center or closer to the heart of Delhi. The whole outreach.
He is trying to reach out to the people of Kashmir, and he has always given significant importance to this part of India. In fact, he has come to Kashmir, I think, more number of times than any other prime minister probably. And there is a significant chunk of population in Kashmir, especially the youth, who actually connect with him and identify with him. So he is actually reaching out to him, and his rallies always make an impact as far as the electoral process is concerned.
And post-abrogation, the way Valley has changed, if you look at the security scenario, if you look at education, though employment, people are talking about, this is one of their demands, more employment opportunities. In your mind, sir, what is the significance of these polls, and what would be, in terms of the aspirations of the voters, Kashmiri voters? Prime Minister today also spoke about how people are now talking about books and uninterrupted education, and these are the votes without the shadow of fear or terror, which not used to be the case earlier.
These elections are important because first elections after changing of status of Jammu and Kashmir, abrogation of Article 370, and people have huge expectations from the government. Because post 370, people feel that they have come into the mainstream. All the shackles that had been binding their growth, which had been holding them back from growth, have actually been removed. So people want to grow. But unfortunately, whatever you may like to say, now they didn't have their own representatives. So now they will have their own representatives who will probably be able to govern them according to their wishes. And that's why there is a huge interest that we are seeing in terms of participation, because irrespective of who forms the government, who emerges victorious, this is actually a victory for the democratic process and for the Constitution of India.
Yes, sir. Maximum number of independents also are in the fray this time around in these elections. Mr. Bansal, one final question. So you've covered Kashmir so closely, politically and otherwise also, You heard Prime Minister today in Srinagar rally, a very important rally that was in Srinagar and Katra of Jammu. What do you think has been an overlying or a far overarching message of the Prime Minister, the larger message?
Prime Minister's message is, by doing rallies, firstly he wants to assure all Kashmiris that you are secure. Because if Prime Minister is coming time and again holding rallies, that shows how secure Kashmir is. That is a message to an ordinary Kashmiri citizen, also to the international community at large, and also to Kashmiri youth, that how much he cares for them. He wants to and he wants them to participate in overwhelming numbers so that they can shape their own destiny, when they can elect their own representatives and decide what they want and how they should need to move forward. Because please understand, in case of Jammu and Kashmir, there is a huge roadmap.
Yes.
Election is just the first process. You will have a government formation, then maybe assembly may pass a resolution asking for restoration of statehood, which again center is committed to. So at some stage, statehood would be restored. So, but it's a first process where you are actually trying to elect a government, see how it functions, how things improve, or what is the going forward, how does it pan out, and then of course we'll be going for statehood. So there is a huge roadmap as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. The growth, the economic development has started, but it needs to be taken forward, because as of now the economic development, the investment is in certain sectors and in certain parts of Jammu and Kashmir.
Right.
This needs to be taken to all parts of Jammu and Kashmir, and that is what is the requirement.
That's right, and this is a vote which would be a clear transition, also marking a clear transition from stagnation to stability in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you very much, Mr. Alok Bansal, for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you.